Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to ALD. We are going to talk about sentences today. Yep, sentence writing, right? We are going to review some of the things that we've already been doing, right? But it's always good to go back and do a little bit of a review. And we're going to incorporate some animal writing into this. Incorporate means we're going to do some animal writing too, right? We're going to have that along with us, all right? So, what I want to talk to you first about is how a sentence is made up, right? After you've figured out what you want to write about, you have to write a complete sentence, right? Major things that you need in this sentence is a naming part and a telling part. And so I have two different color markers to help us with that. One is going to be for the naming part. One is going to be for the telling part. And you might be asking yourself, what do you mean by naming and telling parts? Yeah, that's just what I was going to say. Red is here. Red, how are you? I'm pretty good, but kind of confused about this sentence thing. You said there's a naming part? Yeah, a naming part is you talk about a person, place, or thing, maybe an animal. We're going to talk about animals. I'm going to name what kind of animal. Like if I want to talk about an alligator, I would say an alligator, right? An alligator. Now, then I go on to my telling part. Yeah, and what do you do on a telling part? Well, you tell something about that alligator, maybe something that they're doing, right? What if I said alligators swim? So I have alligators swim. I have my naming part. I named alligators. And I have my telling part. They swim. Oh, I think I'm understanding just a little bit. I was confused. Now I'm not so confused. Still a little confused, but not quite as much as I was before in the past. But still a little bit. Okay. How about, Red, how about you go have a seat? And then I'll write it down on a whiteboard and then start to explain. Maybe that'll be a little bit easier. Oh, sounds good. Here I go. Still a little confused. All right. So that's all right. We can be confused. Let's check this out. So we're going to give our naming part of my sentence. And I'm going to put alligators. There I have my naming part. What did I name? What I was talking about, right? What I'm talking about is the alligators. And I'm going to say that alligators. Oops. That one did not work. Sorry, boys and girls. All right. This one should. We have a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Okay. Alligators swim. All right. So I have my naming part and my telling part. Alligators. Name it. What do? They swim, right? I told you that they swim. So that's my telling part. Now, a couple other things that we have to look at for sentences, right? We're always on the lookout for. We always want to make sure we do this. See the first letter of a sentence? Capital. Always capitalize the first letter of a sentence, right? It's always capitalized. So that's a rule. Now, also at the end, we need some kind of an end mark. Right here, I have a period, right? Other sentences will have an exclamation point or a question mark if it's a question, but every sentence needs an end mark. So we have our end mark. Now, let's do a couple more examples of this. I loved on Friday your Mr. T chart that you guys made, and you had but it was a double T chart, and you had three animals you talked about. One was an alligator, and then you guys chose two others. And I liked what you guys came up with, right? And so those can be used right here. That's kind of why we're getting in that mindset. We're talking about animal parts and things that they can do. And this goes along with that. So let's say, for example, birds. There's my naming part. What did I name? Birds. Let's see, something that birds can do. That's a tough one, huh? Birds fly. Here is my telling part. Birds fly. And again, capital, period. Right? Capital, period. All right, so how about for you? I'm going to give you a naming part. Your job now is to come up with a telling part. I want you guys to make sure you're remembering your capital and your end point, your end mark. What is something that frogs do or have, right? You could say something that they do or maybe something that they have. It's up to you, right? Okay, we want to make sure that you have your telling part. What about if I gave you a telling part? What if I gave you a telling part? What if I said, jumps. Something jumps. What might you come up with there? What might you write there? What animal do you know jumps? Or actually, you know what? Not jump. Let's just do jump. Jump. So, jump. What kind of animals do you know that jump? All right. Now, these are just two examples. You're going to fill in the blanks for these two. Here's your challenge for the day. Can you come up with 2 other sentences where you have a naming part and a telling part about animals? So if you remember the work that you did on Friday, you can use some of that, right? Name the animal, tell something about them, right? Naming, telling part. Okay? All right. Let's have fun with this sentence writing. Make sure we're capitalizing, okay? Sometimes I get these wonderful sentences from you guys. Everything looks great, but there's no capitals. So we're going to practice a little bit with that today, all right? Make sure you have that end point as well. Thank you, boys and girls, for joining me for ALD. Have fun with this. I can't wait to read what you come up with. This is going to be fun, isn't it, Red? Why, yes, it's going to be lovely. I can't wait to read it. I'm not confused anymore, boys and girls. I know exactly what's going on. I know everything about sentence writing. Okay, Red. Let's say bye. Bye.